Hello and welcome to a new walkthrough. In this walkthrough, we are going to implement our final project in this section for this solution, and that will be your remote incline, this one. So we are going to design the form first. The form will have one picture box, one text box, 3 buttons. So let's get started. So click on the toolbox here and then pin it to the left. So the first item is your picture box. So look for picture box, double click on it. And then expand it, drag it to fill the top part. And then the center part, we're going to put a text box. So just look for a text box and double click on it. And drag it down to the bottom and put it all the way to the right. And then below that we put 3 buttons. So we click the button 3 times. This is first button. Click it again the second time. And the third time. So we have 3 buttons all together. Now we're going to put the text on the button. So the first one, the text is called hello. Second one is called bye. And the third one is called picture. So let's click on the first one, and for the text we say hello. Second one, second button, the text is called bye. And the third one, the text is picture. So the whole idea of this client is when the user clicks on the hello, it will call the method on the server, which is the method on the server is hello method, which we saw in the previous lesson. The hello method is this one. And then when the user clicks on the bye, it will call the goodbye method on the server. And then when the user clicks on the picture button, it will call the get bitmap method on the server. So it will call all these 3 methods using the desktop interface: hello, goodbye, and get bitmap. So now we have to write code. So to write code, first we will unpin this toolbox to dismiss it. So to write code, we right click on the form and view code. So now we can download this file from the resource section. Remote incline. First thing we do is copy out all the libraries that we are going to use and put it on top. And paste it here to override previous one. And immediately you see this thing being underlined in red. So you have to add a reference to it. So go to your remote incline reference, right click on it, add reference, and then select the project, click on remote interface so that you can make use of it in this program. Click OK, and the underline should go away. The other one we need is this. See this underline here? System runtime remoting is also needed. So again, click references, add reference, go to the assemblies, and then scroll down to system runtime remoting, checkbox, click OK, and this should go away. Alright, so now we have done that. We are ready to copy and paste the form part. So first we delete the entire class, cut it out, leaving only the namespace. And you come here and copy out everything from the form1 class. Oh, we forgot one thing. We forgot to add the form shown event handler. So let's undo this. Just Ctrl Z to undo the delete. Save it. So we have to go back to the form and add the form shown event handler. Right click on the form. Click on the form, and then come to here. Make sure form 1 is selected. Click on this event button. Scroll down to shown. Double click on shown. So I've explained a few times before why we do this, because behind the scenes, when you insert a event handler behind the scenes, but it's not shown here, Visual C# will add additional code for this, which is not shown here. So that's why we have to add the event handler first, then delete it. Alright, so now we can delete it. Got it? Then we will copy our code from here. Oh, sorry, we need to add 3 more event handler: button 1 click, button 2 click, and button click. Sorry about that. So let's undo one more time. So come back to the form. We have to add event handler for this, and this. So you can either double click to add event handler, or select the button and come here and then select click. So this is the first button, 1 click. Now button 2 click, I'm going to do a different way, just double click direct. So button 2 click. And the last one is this, double click on this, button 3 click. So button 1 click is your event handler for hello. Button 2 click is event handler for bye, and button 3 click is event handler for picture. So we got all our 3 event handlers. Now we can save, and now we can delete. And then we come to our file, we copy everything from one class from here to here and paste it inside here, and then save it. Now I'll explain the code. So over here, we create an object out of the desktop interface because we are going to use it in here. So, and over here, when the form 1 is shown, it will trigger this event handler. It will create a channel again, because every .NET remoting needs a TCP channel for communication. And here it's going to register the channel for .NET remoting. And then this channel is like used for connecting out to the server. Now over here, we are going to activate the object from the remote server. So we do that by calling the activator class getObject method, and we specify the type of object that we want to use. And in this case, it's a desktop interface. The desktop interface is already imported over here, remoting interface. And if you go back to remoting interface, you will see that this interface is called desktop interface. So that is why we are able to do this over here. We can make use of the desktop interface. So this is called casting. So when you cast this, it means that whatever object you get back is of type desktop interface. So casting is another concept in programming where you can temporarily convert a file type, data type from one type to another type. So because we are going to assign the object to a desktop interface, we have to cast it to become a desktop interface. So this desktop interface is an object created here, and here is where you actually get it from the server. And then here, you have to specify the URI. This is called Uniform Resource Identifier. So where does this come from? This comes from the server. So if you recall the server, this is where you register a channel, register a service at port 777, and the name of the URI that you are providing to the world is called desktop capture. So in order for anybody else to make use of this, you have to specify the URI like this. Now note here I'm using 127.0.0.1 because I'm installing everything, the server as well as the client, on the same local machine. But if you are going to deploy this on the internet, then this one will need to be a real IP address. Okay, it has to be a real IP address. Now, and then this is a separator, and then here is the port number, and this is the URI, Uniform Resource Identifier. So this Uniform Resource Identifier URI has to match what you declared in your client, in your server. So since you call it desktop capture here, that means whoever wants to use this feature has to specify it when they are calling the getObject for the activator. So once this thing calls is successful, you will get back a desktop interface for your use locally. And that is where the magic happens. Now that you have got this desktop interface, you can use it like this, here and here, as well as here. So when the user clicks on the button hello, it will then be handled by this event handler, and this event handler will make use of the desktop interface which he got back from the server and call the hello method that is present in the server. And how does it know it's present in the server? Because the interface advertises the string method here. You see that? That's why you can use it this way. Desktop interface dot hello method, desktop interface dot goodbye method, desktop interface dot get bitmap. So you see how easy it is. .NET remoting has made things for us. We can just ignore the network communication sockets programming totally and just use the method, the function that is advertised by the server directly as though it was a local function. Okay, so in this case here, we are going to call the hello method and pass it this name, Paul. Remember earlier on when we did a discussion on the server, this is the server part, the server receives a string. So in this case, when the client calls this method, it has to pass a string. So that is what the client is doing here. It is passing this string Paul. And then when this thing is being sent over to the server will reply with a new string. So that new string is hi there Paul. So you return this string to the client. So the client will then take that, convert it into a string, and then set the text box to become this string. Okay, so that means hello, hi there Paul, which will show in this text box. Alright, then when the client clicks on the buy button, it will then call this event handler. This event handler will call the goodbye method on the server, and the server will return. What does the server return? Take a look. The server will return goodbye. So the goodbye will be returned here and be converted to a string, and then set the text box one text property to that new string, which is goodbye. So goodbye will appear in here, goodbye. And finally, the last button is a picture button. So when the client user clicks on this picture button, it will call this method goodbye. It will call this method button 3, and it will call the get bitmap method on the server. And then the server will return a memory stream. Remember, the server returns a memory stream here. Take a look at the server code again. The server returns a memory stream over here. And this memory stream is the image of the desktop. So when the client receives back this image on the desktop, it will then create a bitmap out of the memory stream. And then they take that bitmap and set the bitmap to become the image for the picture box. And therefore you'll be able to see the image of the desktop of the remote server in this picture box here. So now we can build this. Click on build and click build remoting client. Build has started. Build succeeded. No error. So we have completed the coding for all 3 projects in this solution. In the next video we are going to test it out. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.